Here we are.
Damn, dude, we made it.
We made it.
Yep. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Just like every washed up celebrity and 40-year-old dad who's bored, I have a podcast now.
Yep.
Feels good. Feels good to join those ranks.
Being a washed up celebrity would be all right, though.
Oh, it'd be lit.
You still got enough residuals, but you're just like fame hungry, but you got everything else.
Man, I knew this girl who was so proud of blowing Pauly Shore, and it was just like...
Holy shit.
She's just like a small town girl, and it was just her big claim to fame. You know, it's like I blew Pauly Shore.
You can't suck fame through a hose. You know?
You can through Pauly Shore's hose.
Yeah, I guess fame is subjective in her mind.
What the fuck is my problem that we haven't been recording for 1 minute and we're discussing Pauly Shore getting a blowjob?
Do you think that's like on her Instagram? It's just like, it's like, at Jessica Tate, I blew Pauly Shore. It's like her IG handle.
I'm dropping this topic. Yeah, dude. Here we are.
So the sign looks fire.
Yeah, we put together this sign with some markers and poster board.
From the dollar store.
From the dollar store.
So yeah, what up? Production values through the roof.
Yeah, man. I went to the dollar store today to get the poster board and markers, and I feel like every time I go to the fucking dollar store, like something happens. Like I get accosted by someone, or I get into an altercation.
It really is like a more hectic, more confined Walmart.
Yeah, and everyone is like on edge.
Yeah.
Like there's not happy people at the dollar store.
No, you don't end up at the dollar store because you played your cards right.
Yeah, no. Getting a poster board for my podcast, like my life is in ruins.
Yeah. Yeah, you could go ahead and like not tell the rest of that story, and that'd be like, all right.
Well, so I got my stuff, and I was like, man, this is great. Like my visit to the dollar store is conflict free, and
oh shit, you are telling the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Here you go. This is what the people wanted.
Dollar store story. Okay, we'll do it quick, and so I was like third next in line. Right? There, by the way, lineup of like fucking 15 people. Bet. So I'm like third next, and the fucking loudspeakers turn on, and it was like, shh, our credit and debit machines are down. We're only taking cash. I was like,
what?
Are you joking? Are you joking me? Fucking dollar. Like, I was so close to just a conflict-free experience, and now I don't have any cash, so I can't fucking pay. So I go to put my stuff back. By the way, I put all my stuff back like exactly where it was.
That's nice.
Because I'm a very nice guy.
Yeah.
So then I'm walking out, and then this guy's like, hey man, you're Philip. I'm like, yeah, what's up, bro? And we start talking a little bit, but I'm also late to pick you up, so I'm trying to like
why weren't you just like, hey dude, do you have $6?
Hey, did you hear about the debit credit situation? Or...
Yeah, I'll give you an Instagram shout out for $6. That definitely would have been worth it.
I just like start bartering. I'm like, all right, dude, I'll blow you in the back if you buy me these crayons.
3 markers.
Yeah. No, so we start talking. He's very talkative, and after like a minute, he goes like, yeah, man, so I'm starting up this like, he said he failed out of med school or something, and he's like, but I'm starting this like charity to do with puppies. And I'm not saying you should promote it or anything, but like, yeah, and he pulled that card.
Damn.
He pulled the card of, and then I had to, now I have to stare this man in the face and be like, maybe I'll promote your puppy thing, but I have no intention.
That's crazy, man. The amount of people that message me to be like, hey, get Phil to promote my song, or get Phil to promote my podcast, or like come to fucking Okotoks and make a vlog about me.
Yeah.
It's just like, why, dude? God damn, dude.
We're coming off as such douchebags right now.
Yeah,
but no, dude, I actually think I wouldn't do that to someone. Be like, so I'm starting this charity of puppies. What do you think? You gonna promote it?
That'll fit well on your channel.
Not only that, but it's like, now you've put me in a position where it's like, if I say no, I'm like a fucking douchebag. Like,
yeah, especially when it's for like such a good cause.
Exactly.
You're like, oh no, actually, I hope all the puppies die.
Fuck your puppies.
Yeah, that is awkward.
No, puppies are,
big on the man for like putting himself out there.
Yeah.
Like I think like I've lost so many opportunities because like there was that opportune moment, and because I didn't want to like be a bit of a douchebag, I like let it pass.
You know what that happens with so much is when you're at the grocery store checkout and they ask you to give the $1 to like the thing.
Yeah.
They're like, our cause today is the blah blah blah. Like, do you want to give $1? And I have like $150 of groceries, like, and I'm like, no,
nah,
no, I don't.
And then they're like, you want bags? I'm like, yeah, 5 plastic bags, and I'm not giving $1 to the thing. And
well,
then I just leave feeling like the worst person on the planet.
Well, it's like Jeff Bezos owns one of those grocery stores, and I went in and they're like, hey, can you donate $1 to COVID? It's like, I just lost my job, and Jeff Bezos made $500 billion during this COVID shit. It's like, you really need my $1? Like, man's has got a lot of dollars. You know how many single dollars are in $500 billion?
A lot.
500 billion of them. So I don't know, man. You don't make the little man pay for the little man's struggle as the big man just laughs at us.
Well, doesn't Amazon, haven't they always been operating on like thin slice margins, and that's how they are able to get ahead?
I'd assume so. It's just like quantity. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how much of a profit they're making, but then again, it's probably a fuck of a lot.
We should get back to a really interesting topic, though. Tell us more about your dollar store.
Oh man!
So you went to the second dollar store.
There is more to the story. I thought you were joking, but there is more to the story. Right? So
Sweet.
I fucking dude, I left the dollar store. I told the guy that hopefully all the puppies perish, and
fair enough.
No. So I went to the second dollar store, just another one nearby. And I walk in, I'm like, oh, cool, all the same stuff they have. I collect it all. I go to the cash register. Their credit and debit machines are also down.
What?
What?
This was across all of this chain of dollar stores. I guess all of their credit and debit machines simultaneously stopped working.
They could have announced that.
Dude, I feel like they should have told me when I first walked in the store, and I mean, they're probably having a rough day as it is with the
working at a dollar store.
I was gonna say the credit and debit machine thing, but also that. Yeah. So I just wish they told me when I came in. So then, dude, I searched all over the mall for an ATM, and then I remembered I had like $7 in the car, so I got the $7 and I made the guy just check shit out until it was like $6.70. And then I was like, all right, I'll take this. So it was not as much as I wanted.
Our lives are really hard.
I was literally about to say, my life is so hard.
This reminds me of the 40-year-old virgin story when he was saying how he made a potato salad over the weekend, like gathering the various accoutrements. And that's our first topic on the first podcast.
Man, this is a fucking disaster.
We're interesting people. Why did you talk about that story?
Pauly Shore and the dollar store needs to improve their customer service.
Pauly Shore in a dollar store.
Oh, it rhymes too.
It makes me want to do Molly more. This is such a bore.
I'm like the dollar store Pauly Shore. I'm balling, I rub it in like polysporin.
I got her to give me head, I said polish more.
I'm shooting something porn. Something porn, rub it in like it's polysporin. I got the...
This is the downside to the podcasting, is like you can't cut up your freestyles to make it sound like you are really dope off the top.
Yeah. I can't edit at all. Like
the 30 seconds in between where you're like, Pauly Shore.
What rhymes with Pauly Shore? Yeah, no, I can't edit this to make us look cool. This is just gonna show everyone how lame we are. But it's all good.
That's all right. We have talking points.
We do have talking points. I think we should start off with a question everyone always asks us both, and the question is how we met.
Oh.
Okay. That's a good place to start.
Yeah, so I was at a bus stop in Okotoks.
I was at a bus stop in the Ozarks.
Now it's like, how am I gonna launder all this fucking money? We met. We like internet met. Like we watched all of each other's battles. You don't want people to know you battled, but
No. So we met, like, very short answer before we go to the long answer. We met through Canadian battle rap.
Yeah.
Which is definitely not a bunch of middle-aged dudes that are nerds trying to convince everyone they're cool.
And that they can rap, but they choose not to.
Yeah.
Because they have bars.
They have bars.
Yeah, so we met through Canadian battle rap. He was a weird battler. I was a weird battler. So
We added each other on Facebook, and we were like Facebook bros for a while.
Yeah.
Like, you'll add some guy will add you, or you'll add some guy if you're a guy, or vice versa if you're a girl. And you're just like, oh, this person, we have common interests clearly, and I like their statuses, and I like what they have to say. Yeah. And you just like each other's shit. Like, I feel like we were in that phase for like a year or two.
We were like bros for a while.
We were like bros. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I like that. And then we got booked on the same tour. Mm-hmm. 'Cause 3 or 4 years ago, we were really like trying to rap. Like, that was our thing.
I'm still trying to rap.
I'm still trying. One of these days.
Yeah.
But that's what we were like known for, I guess, to whatever degree.
Yeah.
So we got booked on this fucking tour. Before I just rip it to shreds, the dudes throwing it were really nice.
Oh, hell yeah. The dudes throwing it are the shit.
The dudes throwing it were the shit, yeah.
Great intentions don't always make a great product, though.
Exactly. So yeah, it's like these super nice guys, and they put together this tour, kind of like Western Canada.
Yeah, it was only BC, right?
Yeah, it was only BC. Yeah, which is like the very west of Canada. And so yeah, we went on tour together. That's how we met. Well, that's a pretty crazy way to meet. That's really like throwing into the fucking Lions chambers. I can't edit that because it's a podcast.
Yeah, dude, you have to roll with the fact you said Lions chambers. the boss are Lions, and then you cringe. You're like, chambers.
The Lion's Den. That's what I meant to say. I just thought of it. Really threw each other into the Lion's Den.
But we got along like right away. I don't know, like. Yeah. It was weird, when you see you see somebody is like, if I were to watch your vlogs or something, it's the equivalent. Like, you already got like a good idea what that dude's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, from being Facebook like bros, we got a good idea of each other.
Yeah, off the jump, we already kind of felt like friends, and then
I do remember exactly when we met. It was
in Vernon.
Yeah, Vernon, your hometown. It's this like little town. Would you call it a little town?
Yeah, one of us was getting booze from a trunk.
It was me. It was me because I remember you drove up and stopped.
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, Philip, what's up? And I was like, oh, it's, Busy, the guy that I'm on tour with. Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Your rap name is Busy Mind. I don't know. We should probably address that on the channel more. But anywho, I was outside the club getting booze from a trunk. I remember this very clearly now.
I did too, yeah.
You drove up, you said hi. And then we got drunk in this little town.
Yeah.
The tour, it was fun, but it was a freaking disaster. There was like max 20 kids at every show.
Yeah, we ditched our own show one time.
Okay, so there was this one show. I think it was the second last one, mercifully enough.
Yeah, in a gymnasium in Mission, I think. It
was in a school gymnasium, which I took it for granted, but now looking back, I'm like, what the fuck was up with that? Who was throwing a hip hop show at a school gymnasium?
I've played in a school gymnasium before, and it was
you have?
Yeah, opening for Evil Ebenezer, and it was a good show.
Really? So, that's what confused me is like, It was like, you know, it was a show. It was like a fucking Thursday night at fucking 8 p.m. There was no kids there. It was just an empty gymnasium.
They booked literally whatever they could get.
So,
I think.
but I'm so confused. Is like, so is the school just fucking broke? And then they're like, oh, you want to use the thing for a hip hop show?
Yeah, that's
like,
pretty weird that the school allowed that.
Yeah, I'm so confused by that.
But yeah, anyway, so
Maybe they just broke in when we like without our knowledge.
right?
Yeah.
So we get there and we're already kind of like really burnt out and turned out from like low attendance, and then we get to the school.
And there's one of the openers. We walk in the gymnasium, and one of the openers is sitting on the side of like, you know how auditoriums have that, or school fucking.
They are like a raised, like to throw plays on. Like
Yeah, like a raised stage.
Behind the fucking basketball net.
He's sitting on that freestyling, and he's like, we walk in, and there's no one there except him. And he's like, what's up? It's Philip and Busy. You know I keep it litty. And he's just like freestyling in an empty gymnasium.
And then there's Busy Mind. Oh shit, he just left it all behind as we walk out.
Yeah, I literally just walked in and I was like, man, this is the inner circle of hell. Like,
yeah. It was like the opener that was freestyling on stage, another dude who was clearly another opener sitting beside his dad. And that was like
that's
everybody.
True. There was what, like 3 people max?
Yeah, I don't know.
So I walked in there and I'm like, man, I'm really walking into this empty gymnasium to play a show to like 3 people. And I don't know, that's like one of the most depressing moments of my life.
I've played some really depressing shows, but yeah. In the past, I would have still played.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part, because I've been in those situations and still played, but now I don't know. I have enough mercy for myself that I just fuck it. I don't know. You're not gaining anything from that.
No, you're not paying your dues or putting on for real hip hop. It's all nonsense.
And I remember one little fan, and he was one of the dudes there. He came up to us afterwards. He's like, "Oh shit, dude, you guys not playing?"
Oh, he was so disappointed.
We're like, "Nah, dude, sorry." He's like, "Okay, well, you drink a beer with me," and we drank a beer with them, and we gave him CDs and shit. And he was like, "That's awesome, dude. Like, I totally understand where you're coming from." And then on the drive home, I open up my cell phone to see that this dude's putting us on blast. He's like, "Fuck these dudes. They're fucking losers. They're not true to hip hop." I was like,
They didn't even play a set. They just left.
I fucking hugged the dude 5 minutes earlier, and he's like, "It's good."
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned that. We literally walked out of the shit and
drove home.
But we hung out with that kid, yeah. And
Yeah.
and he put us on blast as we were leaving.
Right.
They're not real hip hop. They didn't even play a set.
If that's what real hip hop is, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, so that's how we met, and then yeah, we just kind of became homies ever since.
Yeah. I remember I slept at your house on that tour. Like I slept 2 or 3 nights at your house.
Yeah, in the living room.
You've always been so fucking cool to me, dude. And then I remember when I actually moved out here, you got me my first job on a film set.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Doing PA work.
PA work, which if you don't know is like the bottom tier. It's like fetch the coffee, look after this, like
sit at this door and don't let anybody through this door for 15 hours, and they're gonna hate you for that.
That's a huge thing that people think that the bottom tier of the movie set is like
Background actors.
or like fetching things for the director and stuff. There's
No.
there's very little of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like you said, like watching things.
Yeah.
Like make sure like they're inside filming, make sure no one passes this line. Man, I remember one time when we were filming the fucking Workaholics movie, Game Over Man.
Yeah.
They shut down a block of downtown.
Yeah.
And I was in charge by myself of making sure no one walked down this downtown busy
That
ass
shit
street.
sucks ass.
Yeah, and like literally I'm stopping like all of these, it's like downtown Vancouver. It's like just a million fucking bawling ass dudes in suits, and like I just have to stop them all and be like, no, no go.
Yeah. So for people who don't get it, it's like the frame of the shot. If the frame of the shot can only have paid background actors go through it. So if somebody from the street walks through there, then, you know, like it could be the wrong time period for what they're wearing or like wrong mood, or just simply the fact that they walked through. Now you have to pay them. You know what I mean? So like this strict rules is like you can't let people through. But then like the director, they shout like rolling, and if it's rolling, you can't let anybody through, and then they shout cut. But then they'll just like keep it rolling. And so it's like for 5 fucking minutes, you're stopping like 30 people from like getting to their job or like walking around. It's fucking awful. I had to do that on the seawall here in Vancouver for a commercial back when I was still a PA, and it was a huge shot. And so I was on one end of the seawall, and like the seawall is a very fucking popular place for people to walk through, right?
Yeah.
And so I had like 10 joggers, 4 cyclists, just like a skateboarder, just like
waiting.
all stopped, and they were doing 10-minute rolls. And I remember this one granny was just like, I cannot stop anymore. I was like, why? She's like, I have bad hips, and when I stop, it hurts. I hurt so much.
Please, Brett,
Please, Brett. And I'm just like looking at it, just being like, fuck, man. If I let you go through, I lose my job. If I don't let you through, like you're in pain. Like
They really
this
don't
is
fuck around.
awful.
They really don't fuck around. Like, you know, the director will be like, who the fuck's the guy walking through the shot? Then they'll radio you, be like, hey, like, make sure no one goes through.
I've had directors come up to me and just like chew me out.
But that's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
like, they'll let that happen 1, 2, 3 times. But the 4th time, dude, the director might be like, all right, someone's walking through again. Whoever's in charge of like stopping the people, get them the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and
It's like, so they don't play games.
you know, it's like it's like $1,000 like every couple minutes like you spend on film.
Exactly.
And that's like a low figure. So it's like if you fuck up and like let somebody through that lockup, they call it,
That's money.
then the person has to walk all the way, like say the seawall, like 10 minutes at fucking $1,000. Like it's, you know, but at the same point, like you can't hold up the public for more than like 5 minutes or something. It's a fucking, there's so many awful things about being a PA.
You have to make you know, tough judgment calls too. Like I've had it not only with civilians, but with like I would try and stop someone and they'd be like, hey, you don't even know I'm the executive producer. Why fucking let me through? And then you're like,
Right.
okay, well, I get that you're the executive producer, but they're still filming behind me, dude. Like you can't walk onto the set.
Oh man, people in film can be such fucking dicks.
Yeah,
Like their life isn't even that hard, and then they're just like something gets in the way, and they just fucking unleash on people.
their life rips, dude. I mean, the only tough
Their
thing
life's
about film is the hours. It's a lot of hours.
Yeah, you kind of get used to it, but you also don't. Yeah, man, like this whole COVID thing, like not having to work, was, you know, really good for me because like I've been doing like the 60-hour weeks, like 60-hour minimums for a long fucking time now. And I don't sleep enough. Like, so I sleep like maybe 4 or 5 hours a night when I'm doing that. Mm-hmm. And then like, I didn't realize it, but like I was so fatigued, you know what I mean? I was just like exhausted all the time. I couldn't like formulate thoughts properly. Like one of the biggest indications for me was like coming. Like when I came, I would just like barely come at all. Like just like a little like, you
like a
know,
little shameful dribble.
like I can count the amount of fucking tadpoles in it. You know what I mean? A little shame drizzle, yeah. Like a
Shame drizzle. Shame drizzle.
And so yeah, but then like when I stopped working and I got like proper sleep and shit, like I'm fucking shooting loads, dude. It's fucking great. And it's like that's a pretty good indication. Like your body is like not doing well. Like your libido's fucked and you can't even ejaculate. Like you're running on an E, bro.
Yeah, totally.
10 minutes in, I'm already talking about my cum.
I love it, dude. Speaking of stopping people, I really have nothing to say about this, but I remember my coolest job I had on a film set was keeping paparazzi away from Devon Sawa.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember how bad I fucked that up too?
Devon Sawa, he's the guy who played Stan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the first Final Destination, he was the star too.
Yeah.
He's been in like some other shit, I think.
Yeah.
He was in The Fanatic. I've been trying to. You gotta watch The Fanatic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so weird. I remember like, it was weird, you know, to have paparazzi in fucking Canada, but it exists.
Yeah, and they like came down through like the bushes and shit.
Yeah, they were ruthless.
And like you can't actually get them to leave. because it's still public property, so like they're right on the line of where they can be, but then like the director's still telling you to do something about it.
Yeah.
I remember trying to deal with those guys too, and I just like held up an umbrella and just kind of like kept putting the umbrella in front of them. It got so confrontational. They started taking pictures of me. They're like, we're gonna take you down, and so I started taking pictures of them, and they didn't like that, and I'm like, you're a hypocrite. And it's like, fuck, it was all, I hated that job, dude.
Weren't you, I forget if it was you that told me this or someone else, but on one of the shows I worked on, there was like a shot of like one of the actresses coming out of the water, and she looked like apparently like shitty, and somebody on the crew took a picture of her and sold it for $10K.
Damn.
And no one ever found out who it was.
Damn.
And I think like someone on the crew, like, I guess it wasn't you. You don't remember this?
No.
Yeah, someone on the crew like knew this person and told me about it. I guess they didn't snitch, but yeah, like.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some
That's why
weird
you
shit.
can't fuck around with the paparazzi shit. Like.
Yeah.
You want the stars to feel safe too. We're really giving that insider Hollywood knowledge for two fucking idiots with
Two
no
fucking
life.
PAs that don't work
Two
in
PAs,
film anymore.
Well, here, let's get back onto the kind of written down talking points for a second. I want to discuss kind of like your origin story. I would like some backstory on like your childhood or like how you were raised and shit. If that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So I was born in Ontario, but I moved to Vernon, BC.
I never knew that.
See, we're learning things.
Wow.
Where were you born?
Edmonton.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's a great place.
It's a great place. So yeah, I was born in Ontario, and I moved to Vernon, BC when I was young, and just kind of grew up there until I left when I was 19. I grew up Mormon, which trips out a lot of people, considering my promiscuous proclivities. And
I think it makes sense. I think that,
Really?
Yeah, because you're always like, I feel like you're always kind of going to go against the crop of what your parents are about.
You will or you won't.
Not like you, like generally
you will or you
people.
won't. Like if your dad is just like an abusive alcoholic, you either become an abusive alcoholic or you become like a saint.
Or like the opposite. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and like one of my brothers is still like devout Mormon. He's a fucking awesome dude. My other brother isn't though. And my other brother is kind of like in between us. So.
Was there a point where were you Mormon growing up? You had to have been, right? When you were like super young?
Yeah. Like I was raised, I really didn't have a choice. So I did believe it all until I was about 10 or 11. Like they get baptized at 8 and like I didn't want to get baptized. Like I'd already kind of like was feeling inclinations of it.
Can you remember a turning point where you were like, I don't know about this Mormon shit?
Yeah, I remember they were talking about getting into heaven and how like only the Mormons will get into they have a tiered system, but only the Mormons will get into the top tier.
The top tier of heaven?
Yeah.
What is it, a sandals resort?
It was like a Tommy Bahamas. So like you don't, only the most devout and people that wear the magic underwear and do all the proper things get into there.
Bet.
And I remember like hearing about that at Sunday school and then just kind of like driving around with my dad, and I was like, so Dad, like if only like the best Mormons get into heaven, like what about all these other religions and all these other people that aren't religious? I was like, how did I phrase it? I was like, then we must be the most popular religion on earth. You know, like if God is only letting us in, then we must be the most popular because God loves everybody. So then God would want the most of his children to succeed in this plan that he set up to test us. He wouldn't want to, he wouldn't be in heaven being like, hey guys, I got a plan. I'm going to narrow it down to 5% of all of you are going to come back.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a fucking cold move, dude. And and he's like, no, we're not even close to the most popular religion on earth. And that, I don't know, it didn't sit well with me. I'm like, fuck that.
Right.
I don't like that idea. And so, I was about like 11 when I really started to like rebel against it and being like, no, I'm not going to church. Like I don't believe this.
And from there, you probably started seeing more and more like holes in it.
Yeah. That point I'd like definitely decided. But you know, a weird thing though is it coincides with like me becoming like severely depressed as a child. You know, like the most, you know, like being suicidal and stuff at like 11. And you know, like maybe part of that was like my like stops, you know, not believing in God anymore. You know, when you have this whole framework, which is your entire life, your whole belief of reality, a plan, like a really like warm lining around everything, and then that just being like completely removed, it leaves you with like quite an existential dread. And
Yeah.
I think that like part of the depression was that, but then also it's like neurochemical. Like a lot of people get depressed when they hit puberty. You're a man that gets depressed. When was the first time you like suffered like real depression?
Real depression. Man, this could get deep really fast. I guess probably like probably like grade 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I can't think of how old I would have been, but my parents
I think you're like around 12 around there.
yeah, around 12. Like I remember my parents had me in a private school for a couple of years, and like I grew up like middle class, but my parents they always like balled on me and always wanted the best for me and stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't grow up super loaded, but yeah, they put me in this private school, and I remember feeling like really out of place because a lot of the kids were like super rich and like very prim and proper, and I like wasn't that way. And I kind of like started being the class clown, I think, because like I just wanted attention and like didn't feel accepted. Kind of the same thing I'm doing for a fucking job now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just remember like my class clown shit would just get more and more out of control. And then one day like this teacher like sat with me outside of the classroom, and like she was just like on some Dr. Phil shit, and she's like, you know, this has been getting more and more, like, what's up with you? Like, I know you're not just trying to like be funny, like. And I just started like gushing tears, and I was like, I just want everyone to like me, and blah, blah, blah. I feel not accepted, and do. And yeah, I remember too, there was like this girl in that same year who like liked this other dude instead of me, and it was
What a bitch.
No, that's just the first year that I remember like really being like down in the dumps, and that just continued as a theme for frankly like just the rest of my life up till now, like just not feeling accepted and feeling like not enough and all this shit.
Yeah, at this point in my life, I just try and like really lean into it. It's like, yeah, I'm an outcast and I don't fit in. And I was a black sheep in my family. It was just, you know, black sheep, and like my dad has like 6 or 7 like brothers and sisters, and like big family reunions, and like me just being like the fucking weirdo. And I hated it, and I felt so uncomfortable. I didn't know how to connect with anybody. But then at this point in my life, like I'm less insecure, and it's like, I don't know, I kind of like being different, and I like being weird, and I just really lean into it. It's like, I don't know, eventually you go from being like an outcast to being like unique.
I lean into it now too, for sure. Yeah.
I'd rather be different than the same.
Did you get into drugs as a kid?
Yeah, you know, I started smoking weed when I was like 12 or 13, started drinking at the same time.
Same.
I didn't really get heavy into weed until I was like 15, and then I smoked weed every single day until I was like 30. It was quite maladaptive. But yeah, drinking, I didn't really get heavy into it until like my mid-20s. You know, like I would get shit-faced on like a Friday night, but like not like, you know, drinking every day or anything like that.
For anyone wondering how old you are, you're
32.
32, yeah.
Yeah. An elusive, enigmatic 32.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, but I think I did mushrooms when I was like 14, and we started doing E. You know, we called it E back then. You call it M now. It's the same shit.
I don't know if it is the same.
If you're not testing your stuff, then you get what you get, and they call it what they want.
Man, I started doing ecstasy before I smoked weed when I was 13.
Crazy.
That did not help my depression. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah.
Made it worse.
Drugs don't help. This is a big thing. Like, drugs do not help when you're that young. Like, people are like, oh, you know, you can do mushrooms to try and, like, deal with your trauma or blah, 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 blah. And then, like, a little kid does, like, an eighth and just, like, freaks out. Like, it's like when you're older, your cognition, everything, your physiology has kind of, like, finished developing.
Yeah.
That's the point that you want to start trying to use small dosages of things to, like, help yourself out. But as you're a developing child and you have no idea who the fuck you are, what the world is, like, that's not the time to try and dose yourself to heal yourself. But yeah,
I think it was part of my thing for, like, wanting to feel accepted. And, you know, that's around the time too, 13, where I got into, like, you know, Korn and Marilyn Manson and Slipknot and shit. And I'm like, well, I think all these guys are doing drugs and they're fucking super cool. So maybe if I did drugs too, then I can, like... And then I was trying to start all these bands from when I was like 13 to 16. Tight. And like no one was as into it as me. And I was like, come on, guys, we can't just smoke weed. We need to get gigs.
We need to rock.
And I was fucking like 15. Like, I don't know.
I still remember the first time I smoked weed. I vividly thought, I was like, is this a good idea or not? And I thought, no, yeah, 13. I was like, this will seal the deal on me never going back to church. I was like,
that's deep.
If I smoke this weed, like, I've definitely taken my first step on the different path. And so I really did that as like a rebellion against a system, I guess.
Fuck.
But then at that point I was just doing drugs. just because it felt good. But yeah, I think 15 did E. Tried Coke, but I've never liked Coke. I'm very lucky.
I've never seen you do it.
Yeah, I haven't done it in probably 10 years. I've done it maybe 5 times, and each time I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty fortunate. And then I think I did acid when I was like 23 maybe. And
like one time.
I've done acid maybe 10 times.
What was like the path to you? You know, you obviously have a very alternative look and style. Like, did that go hand in hand with like when you realized that you didn't like the Mormon stuff?
I don't know. I liked dark imagery. I liked satanic imagery. I liked pagan imagery. Mm-hmm. I think that's just something that's in me. You know what I mean? That wasn't like something that I thought out. I don't think that was reactionary. It was just like I saw like how Korn looked, and like Jeff Hardy was my favorite wrestler. I thought that it looked cool. Yeah. And at the time it was not cool. You know this, like back when we were young, like goth shit was not dope. Nobody liked Marilyn Manson. Nobody liked Rob Zombie.
Nope.
Now everybody does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I remember, you know, especially where I grew up, people would like shout homophobic slurs at me because of how I dressed.
Yeah.
And like try to fight me and stuff. And now that's like, you know, every freaking Instagram person is dressing like that, and it's cool now.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Which I don't know, I have mixed feelings about, you know what I mean? Because like the style that I've been rocking forever is like, now it's the dope shit.
Yeah.
And now I just kind of like look like, to a degree, like everybody else.
It's like, guys, no, I promise I was doing this before.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you become like a hipster fucking goth, and it's like, yeah.
But you just can't win.
But at the same point, like, so many Instagram models have gone goth, and now there's just like...
You don't mind that?
No. Like, there's, like, my type used to be like such a niche, but now like a lot of people dress like my type, and that's pretty dope.
Sorry, it's such a catch-22 where it's like, you know, I fucking got into... I thought Korn looked cool, and I started doing drugs and shit. Like, we both said that. And then it's like, what... It's like, if we don't go down that path, I guess that's good, but then we still would have felt, like, ostracized. So it's like, is it almost a positive thing that we went down this, like, weird, reckless path? Like, it's... I don't know, man.
I think
it's a really difficult question.
Because I've thought about that a lot, and like I compare myself to my brothers. Like my brothers have like really straightforward careers. Like they make pretty good money, and but they haven't dealt with like the shit that I've had to. You know what I mean? Like my first close friend passed away when I was like 14 or 15. Just series of trauma that I've dealt with just like really close people to me passing away, or like living a life where they're half dead, and just like how many things that I deal with that are traumatizing and painful,
because that lifestyle is so unpredictable.
Yeah, it's part of the lifestyle. You know, like my punk friends, it's like one of them passes away, so they all drink and party heavy to deal with it, and then another one passes away, and it's just a cycle and a cycle. So like my brothers, they don't really have to deal with that aspect of life. So have I chose the right path? But I think what it comes down to is I didn't have a choice. Like we were going to go this way, whether we wanted to or not. We could have made slight changes. Like I could have not tried this drug or quit this drug earlier, but that's where we were going. I don't think we had a choice. This is who we are.
It was almost like our calling, you could say, which is a weird thing to say to just like a crazy lifestyle. But yeah, like it's almost like when Marilyn Manson got like blamed for all the shootings or whatever, and it's like, you know, on one end it's like the music is all about violence and this and that, and on the other end it's like the music's cathartic and it helps you, you know, you listen to it and you're like, oh, this person knows how I feel, so now I'm not going to do violence. Yeah. And it's like, it's almost this thing of like, is it cathartic or like harmful? And the answer probably falls somewhere in the middle, and it probably varies. Somewhere in the middle. Probably varies like anything else in life.
But. And you can pick and choose with it all. Like, I think like Lil Peep is a good figure of it, where people can emulate his lifestyle and like try and do drugs and try and like be completely reckless. But he was just expressing that part of his life. So for somebody to take an expression of pain and then to glamorize it and try and emulate it, to try and put themselves in pain or put themselves in danger, I think that they're misinterpreting the message. And that's what like media would do, is just be like, look at this guy rapping about drugs, blah, blah, blah. But then the other side of it is like so many people express that Lil Peep saved their life, because Lil Peep, he was very open about his depression and like his substance abuse and how much pain he was in. And so for somebody else to listen to that and be like, I'm not the only one that feels this.
That's so valuable. Yeah. And as this may be a fucked up thing to say, but that gift to society probably outweighs any negative damage that gets done.
I think so, yeah.
Man, I remember one time, this is rough, but right after Peep like passed away, I went to this dude's house and he was just ripping lines and like blasting Peep, and he's like, yeah, man, like I'm ripping lines for Peep. And I'm like, dude, like, yeah, that's...
It's questionable. And, you know, it's like same thing when...
Would he have wanted that?
Yeah, it's like when somebody close to you passes away, and then you just, you know, to cope with it, you just start like self-harming, or you're like abusing alcohol or drugs. Like, it's all right to use coping mechanisms for a bit, but then to a point, you're just hurting yourself in their name.
Like, you wouldn't shoot heroin because Kurt Cobain died, you know?
Yeah, and they wouldn't want that.
They would not want that. That shit destroyed his life.
Like, say there's some kind of afterlife, like, let's just say there is. Somebody looking down on you from the afterlife, just being like, oh, that's the thing that destroyed my life. Now they're using that because of me, or they're like in my name. Like, I don't want that. I wish that didn't happen in my life. Now that I've found peace and comfort, I realized like I couldn't face my demons and I was just hurting myself. And now the person I love is doing that because of me. That's fucking horrible. So, you know, somebody who passes away, they don't want you to do worse. They want you to do better. And I don't know, it's a fucked up thing to hurt yourself in somebody else's name.
Yeah. You wrote down some talking points as well. Did you want to?
Yes, I do have some talking points.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go with your channel and the podcast? Like, what's your goals here?
I don't want to delve into it too much because I really wanted like a Brett centric. I just want to know about you, buddy. But no,
You just asked me to ask you a question, buddy.
I know. I know.
But it's a good intro that, you know, we're doing the podcast. What do you want to do with the podcast then?
So, okay, so no, sorry. The original question was, what do I want to do with the channel?
Answer either one, like your channel or the podcast.
With the channel, I definitely... It's tough, dude. That right now I'm like in a tough thing where it's like I'm torn between like constantly uploading like little fun zany videos and doing like more documentary style stuff.
It's hard because both of those are great. I love both those formats.
Yeah, I would like to think I'm decent at both of them. Though I've never fully delved into like a long documentary. People still have to see that from me.
But you've done like 20-minute videos and they're fire.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, dude. I might end up doing some longer documentaries because honestly, to be totally frank, it's like, I'm like, yeah, man, like, I can totally keep pumping out like 5-10 minute videos of us doing gross shit and this and that and keep preaching to the choir, and they're fun to make.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, grateful that people watch them, but it's like, I think the fans too like want me to evolve. Still do gross shit, but like I just know
both.
I'm thinking about just like taking a couple of weeks at some point to just fully delve into like making a long form like video about some crazy shit. I'm not going to talk about like the specific idea, but yeah, that's kind of where I want to go, is like 30-40 minute videos about like crazy topics where I really like a long form thing about, you know, the Canada's Worst Street video.
Yeah.
Like a long form thing of that, and not necessarily about like homelessness or addiction, but just things where I examine some section of society like that, like at length, and it's like more of a serious tone. I would like,
if you could do like, do the short videos and then occasionally do something like that. I think that would be really good.
That's so hard though. I don't want to sound like I'm fucking, you know, complaining or whatever, but that's hard to do at the same time.
The hard thing is, though, with the long forms, like if you're doing like a serious topic, like you won't be able to like have much of you in it, or like you being silly or like silly banter with your friends. Like that's something that would kind of maybe get lost in the long form if you're doing serious ones.
Yeah. It's like every time I try to start a long form project, it gets interrupted by like a short form video. Like we'll film and then I'll, you know, take the next like 24 hours to just edit everything, and then the next day I'm exhausted, and then the next day we go film something else, and just the long form thing never happens. That's why I think eventually I will need to like take a couple of weeks to like just buckle down and make some crazy shit. Everyone will still be here once the shit is ready, you know.
And then like if we keep podcasting, like they'll still get your personality, and like you can have on like guests that you banter with. Like they'll still get the humor and all that.
Yeah.
They'll still get you even if you're doing like a serious documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I want to go with the channel.
Fair enough. This is kind of like might be a big question for you. But do you see yourself doing this for the rest of your life? Like, do you think about that?
That's a big question. Like YouTube?
Yeah.
I can like happily, proudly say I have no problem doing YouTube for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Scary thing is though, like
I'm very like lucky and grateful. If
you ever like retire and like you're like, oh right, I've made enough videos, I can live off residuals, and then YouTube's like, we're taking away that now. Like that's the problem. Is there is a lot of problems with YouTube, which is also why I think I won't end up doing it all my life, which is like there's YouTube. I once saw a tweet, I wish I could credit, I don't remember who it's from, but it's like being employed by YouTube is like having a super balling sugar daddy that could also cut your throat at any moment. Yeah.
I was like, man, that's so true.
Yeah.
And Yeah, so first of all, like the monetization is, all of that shit is constantly changing. It's a mess. You know, I've already lost out on tens of thousands of dollars from making edgier content. I'm doing air quotes because I think the content is PG-13, but you know, by YouTube standards, it's edgy. So that's always tough. And not only that, but I feel like the margins for like getting canceled on YouTube are like really slim.
Yeah.
Like if I ever, you know, especially when you're doing like a video every week or however much, and like, you know, I'm not perfect. I've done like whack shit in videos, and yeah, it's just like once you're big, you have a target on your back.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, for some reason, like YouTubers just can't get away with very much. Like, you know, there's, you know, dudes like Chris Brown and Kodak Black and all this shit. Whatever your position is on all that, you know, they have some heavy allegations against them.
Yeah.
And they're still out here. Like they're, but if a YouTuber had those same allegations, it'd be done. They'd be over.
Yeah. I guess,
so that doesn't help too. Not that I would ever do some fucked up shit like that, but I'm just saying like more minor mistakes, there's less room for them.
Yeah. There's like a certain lack of like reliability in like what you do, I suppose.
There's a lack of reliability. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's just not like ideal, but I don't know. I think pretty soon they're going to turn this shit into like cable television. Like, you know, Drama Alert is going to be fucking CNN, and PewDiePie is going to be whatever channel. And they're just going to really like clamp down and give like the bigger creators a lot of power and like do whatever you like. And then it's gonna probably turn into like almost like a class system where like small channels, it's a lot harder for them to like move up and shit. And then
more of a conglomerate kind of thing.
Conglomerate, exactly.
Small businesses are failing, but yeah.
So once they really like streamline like the process for bigger channels, it might get easier. Not that I think I have like a medium-sized channel, but
yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Like if you had an opportunity, like say like, I don't know, like Netflix or Amazon hit you up and was like, hey, do you want to just sign an exclusive deal with us? Do you think you would do something like that if the concept was right?
Yeah, the concept has to be right. I wouldn't really give a shit about the money because like I've heard so many, you know, horror stories of people that were doing their own thing online and they got signed to this or that, and you know, the people just wanted too much control, and it sounds like a bad time.
Yeah.
So I'd have to have control, and it would have to be a good concept and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Would you ever cuck someone?
That's your next talking point?
Yeah. I was going to keep going down that line, but yeah, let's switch it up here.
That's your next talking point.
Somebody's like, hey, I'm really into watching my girlfriend get fucked. Can you fuck my girlfriend? A, would you do it? B, do you think you get hard? And C, do you think you would derive pleasure from them watching and you being like, yeah, I'm fucking your girl, bro?
Man. I would do it if they're like cool with it and giving their consent and they like get off on it sexually, like
she's hot,
sure,
and
she's hot, like why the fuck not, dude?
So B, do you think you get hard because he's watching you and stuff?
I think I would. Yeah, it's still a vagina.
It is a vagina.
It's still a vagina, dude. I mean, yeah, no, I think I'd be okay with it. If he was like participating in the sex, I might not get hard. We can get into that.
Yeah.
But
and then, C, do you think you derive pleasure in it? Like while she was coming, do you think you'd be like staring him in the eye and be like, yeah, fuck you, dude?
That, no.
I'm fucking crushing it.
That wouldn't. I'm killing it, bro.
I'm killing it in here.
I'm slaying the puss of your damsel, bro. No, that wouldn't be fun for me, dude. I wouldn't like rub it in. I just feel bad.
Yeah, I'm not
Even
into,
if he liked it, I wouldn't care.
I'm not into like anger bangs or like revenge bangs or anything.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. My mind doesn't fucking work like that, dude.
I like, yeah, dude. I've always thought of sex to be pretty sensual, and like whether I'm having sex with like the most ratchet fucking chick or like the, you know, whatever, it's always just a sensual experience for me.
For me, there's a certain level. I don't know, maybe this isn't the best word when you're having like dirty, weird, kinky sex, but like there's a level of purity where it's like I don't have intentions or ulterior motives here. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to have like a good time with somebody.
Yeah, it's like a connection.
Yeah, you know, I'm not trying to. I would never like fuck somebody so I could like manipulate them or like shit like that. Like, I've heard so many fucking weird dude stories like that. Where ugh.
We're very wholesome about sex over here.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, that's nice. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Man, I remember before YouTube, like I was kind of well known, like within Edmonton, I was known a little bit as a rapper, and I remember that I was like eating this chick out, and she was like, "Can I Snapchat you eating my pussy to like my fiance, because he's a big fan of you and I want to make him jealous."
Whoa.
And I was like,
make
wait,
him jealous?
Yeah. I was like, wait, fiance?
Wait.
Wait.
You think I'm big?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So was she cheating on him, do you think?
I think they had already like fallen apart.
Well, it sounds like it.
Yeah, I think they were like, it was over.
That's
like,
wild, dude.
Yeah, but yeah.
So you were telling me about a pretty spicy threesome story the other day.
You didn't ask if I let her send the Snapchat or not.
Did you let her send the Snapchat?
So my threesome story. Now I'm playing, but or am I? But the fucking yeah. Man, this threesome story is rough, dude. I really don't know.
It's so good, dude.
Fuck, we're really bearing it all up. This is a crazy first episode.
So how did it come about? Like, how was the perfect storm aligned?
I really want to leave as many details out until it's like threesome time.
Okay.
Like, I just want to get to the...
Okay, the three of you are in a room.
The three of us were in a room. Man, it's just, yeah, so fucking greasy. But, okay, well, so this is a story of the time I had a threesome with a dude, and you really want me to tell this story, so...
Yeah, well, this all came about because I was asking Phil the other day, have you ever had a threesome where it's you and a dude and a chick? Because I've only ever had, like, chicks.
You've never had one with another dude?
No,
Yeah,
I'm not opposed to it. Like, I would love to DP somebody.
I've had this one.
Yeah.
And then I've had... How many threesomes have you had with two chicks?
Like, a lot, dude. I don't know.
I've had two.
I would like well over 10. Probably somewhere around 20 maybe. But then, like, I don't know, I've gone to like sex parties and it's like everybody's banging all over the place.
But that's not a threesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's lit though. Okay, well, this one time, yeah, it was like me and my friend and this chick, and I was like, all right, whatever, let's have this threesome. And this is how I learned that I can never have a threesome with another dude again, because I just could not get hard.
Yeah.
I just no chance. Like, so I was just, and he got hard. So I was just sitting there.
Did you have a really dope dick where you're like, oh, my dick's not that dope? Or it was just because there was another dude there?
It was that there was another dude there.
Yeah.
His dick was fine. It was a nice dick. But yeah, he's just railing her as I just was like sitting there like Nice job, guys.
He's really leaning into you there, isn't he? Just like massaging his shoulders, just be like, wow, you're really giving her the business.
I'm like rubbing her hair, like, wow, he's really plowing you good, huh?
He seems like a nice guy, though. He'll probably call you back. Just like rubbing her tits, like, you have really nice tits. I wish I was fucking you.
If you think this guy's railing you good now, just wait until my penis finally gets hard.
It's gonna be so wet after he comes in you.
That'll allow me even more lubrication to properly do my thing.
Just wait for dessert.
Yeah. And, like, the part of the story you got the biggest kick out of was that, like, me and her were like making out as she fucked him.
Like, was she riding him?
So yeah, so the positioning was like she was riding him, and like she was leaning forward over like his head, right?
Yeah.
And I leaned forward as well, so that like my fucking balls weren't like in his face. So I leaned forward and we both kissed.
You made a kissing bridge.
We made a kissing bridge over his head as he like just fucked her.
At any point was he like, God damn it, dude, what are you doing? Either sit out or don't. You're not having a threesome. You're just putting your balls in my face as you kiss her.
No, he was super chill about it. I think he understood I was just trying to like get involved.
I feel like the part that you're leaving out is just like you 69ing the girl or something while he's fucking her and the balls are just hitting you in the forehead.
Nah, nothing like that. But it's weird, dude. It's like that shit is like a yoga class. It's like once the door closes and it's like underway, it's like y'all are in there, bro. Like
can't let out the stink.
I felt like I like shouldn't leave, you know, until he came.
I don't go until he comes. That's very courteous.
Yeah, very courteous. I'm gonna be here rubbing your hair until he splooges.
He comes and you're just like, oh, not on me. Just use her as a human shield to guard from the cum.
Make sure I'm out of the splash zone. Yeah, so but man, he was the coolest. He's the coolest guy. I still fuck with that guy.
Just like railing or just like beside him looking down. Man, you're killing it down there.
I like have my arm over his shoulder, like my man.
Just like pushing his hips from behind. I'm helping. Oh my god. Holy shit, dude.
I'm like sucking on his ears and shit.
You seem like a really nice guy.
Can I get either of y'all a water? Are you good?
A breath mint? Oh, wow. You're just like on the lockup on the door, making sure the roommates don't come in.
This guy's a real stallion, huh?
You got a real stud down there, don't you, woman?
I'm proud of both of you.
Just like shake his hand on the way out. Man, you did great work in there.
Same time next week.
I was at we're actually really close to here. I was at a mansion party that was like a play party mansion. Everybody's like walking around naked and stuff. There's like different sex rooms. There's a big pool. Everybody's in the pool naked. It was fucking awesome, dude. But I remember going to one of the rooms. It was just like a bed. And I remember like looking on the walls. I'm like, why is there like saran wrap? Because there's saran wrap on all the ground and then saran wrap on the walls, right? Because what was actually happening was a realtor was throwing this. And so when the house was empty, he would throw like big orgies in the house and charge everybody and make bank. But then he would just like completely prep the place so like it would still be relatively clean after.
And then the next day he's back trying to sell the house.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck.
Dude was running game. And
that dude's hustling, dude.
Right. That's a fucking gnarly hustle, but power to you. And Yeah, I remember it was me, a dude, and I think 3 girls. We were all in the room and we were all like playing and stuff, and then, you know, it got pretty hot, and like my one friend, she's like quite the squirter. And so it's just like kind of making her squirt. And at one point she like sprays all over the wall. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's why the saran wrap's there, you know? And so we're just like playing around, rolling around and stuff. And so like a couple of them leave, and then it's just me and this girl, like one of my friends from Montreal was in town. And we're just like, you know, like banging each other. We kind of roll off the bed. We're banging each other on the floor. Like we both come or whatever. And it was like a really hot time. Like the whole, from like hot. Beginning to end was like a good hour and a half. And I remember like, I didn't realize this, but I turned around and there was like about 12 people that were all just kind of like watching at that point. It was all behind me. So there's 12 people, and then we finish and just one dude just... and then the whole room starts like clapping and cheering and shit. It was such a highlight. But then the rest of the night, like people were coming up to me and like shaking my hand and being like, good work in there, dude. That was fucking awesome.
You're fucking kidding me.
No, dude.
Bro.
Yeah, I still have pictures from the night. It was a wild time. But that's like a good story. But man, I've had some like threesomes turn bad for sure. Just like, I don't know, jealousy in a threesome's really hard. Having a threesome with a partner is like a really rough. It can't.
That's such a like Brett that jealousy in threesomes gets pretty rough. My fucking life. Fuck, man.
These problems are the good ones to have. But yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people can relate to this. But when you're dating somebody, and
no one can relate to
okay, I'm sorry. but if you're dating somebody and the chick's like, yeah, we should have a threesome. Fucking tread lightly. So, you know, like, even though you're going to be like really excited because it's like a new girl and like you want to play with the new girl, it's like give almost all your attention to your girl until she tells you to like hook up with the other person. Just tread lightly, because like you think something's a good idea until like you're watching the one you love get fucked or fucking somebody. Mm-hmm. It's like it's a very different experience at that time. But yeah, I've had a couple of those kind of turn on me. How
did you get into group sex? How many?
Like, where do you get the ticket?
No, that's not my... I'm genuinely, like, not interested.
Yeah, fair
but
enough.
I totally support you.
I don't know, like, this girl that I was dating, when, you know, we started to realize that we liked each other, she looked at me and she was like, I only want an open relationship. You know, I don't want monogamy. And I was at the point in my life when I was learning about non-monogamy, and I didn't really know that was an option. And so people are going to write, well, you're Mormon. So there's 2 different Mormon sects. One is into polygamy, which isn't polyamory, and one went away from that. And that's how I was raised. I was raised like strict, straight edge, monogamous Mormon. But anyway, so yeah, she was like, hey, I want to be in an open relationship. I was like, yeah, that's totally what I've been wanting too. That's really nice coincidence. And so, you know, we played with other people. We never played with anybody together, but we would play with other people, and I just got more comfortable with that. I was getting really comfortable with just being sexual in general, and like I was pretty slutty before that point. I'm pretty pro slut.
Yeah.
But then we started, you know, we went to Wreck Beach, infamous Wreck Beach, and we got naked there. And I'm like, oh my God, it's really nice to be naked in public. Like, this is fucking awesome. And then we started going to fetish parties, which is like, people don't have sex at fetish parties for the most part. You know, in Vancouver at least, like there were very strict guidelines here. And so we would go there, dress up, I would spank her, get tied up, like just got more comfortable with that. And then, you know, hosted my own orgy, which you were at. And then
I was there.
Yeah. And then just started going to like more and more things. And then eventually, like, there was a underground venue near my house that would throw like very orgiastic endeavors. And yeah, it just kind of ended up just becoming part of my life, I guess.
Damn. Do you remember at your orgy, I didn't do anything except eat pizza and watch?
Yeah.
I'm seeing a theme here.
Yeah.
And no, but dude, the girl that got you into all this shit is like whoever let the fucking spider loose that bit Spider-Man. That's how I see it.
I think that I was going down this direction anyway, but yeah, having a partner, it really helps you with that stuff. Like going to Wreck Beach, I'm not going to go there alone and just like get naked and be like, oh, this is freeing. Or like going to like a fetish night by yourself as a dude. Like, I don't know, man. There's so many like weird predators and in some circles, and I would never want to be like that. So like being able to experience that, and that was all new for her too. So
Right.
for us, like both, like this is all novel, and us to learn that together, it was quite nice. It was a happy little journey.
Was your first time with like a whole bunch of women? Did you just feel like the shit, or was it just more about like the spiritual thing?
Oh, I still remember like my first threesome when like 2 girls were like licking my dick together. Like how fucking great I felt.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an ego thing where you're just
Totally. No, dude.
yes, you know what I mean?
I've had the same shit. It's pretty empowering.
Yeah, or like, you know, like you have a crazy like hot night of sex with like one of the hottest chicks you've ever banged, and it was just all good times. Like the next day, like you feel like $1,000,000 fucking bucks, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's threesome stuff isn't usually like spiritual for me, but like afterwards, like if all 3 were like hanging out and it's just like a nice sweet time, like, you know, giving compliments, like kissing each other, like there is something like truly wholesome and pure and innocent about it, to be completely honest. A lot of people won't understand that, but yeah,
We ain't nothing but mammals, as they say.
but yeah, just to have like 3 different souls enjoying each other. That's
You've enjoyed many souls, eh?
yeah, many a soul.
Dude, tell your story about the girl eating 11 eggs.
Oh my god.
Please.
So, oh man.
I have to pee, so you begin the story, please, and thank you while I pee real quick.
Yeah. So this is back in my Tinder days. I went on a Tinder date with somebody, and we went down to this bar. She was drinking, I can't even remember what it was. I think it might be like whiskey sours or some shit. But you know, we were just drinking. Like she kind of catfished me a little bit. I just wasn't really. We weren't vibing. Let's just leave it at that. We weren't vibing, and why weren't you vibing? Shut up, dude. I'm not answering all that. So we weren't really vibing, but I was still enjoying the conversation. You know, like quite single, so it's like it's just fun tonight. Like, to, you know, talk to somebody and hang out with somebody. So we're just hanging out. We're probably like 10, 11 drinks in at this point, because we'd been there for like a couple hours. Like I didn't have other intentions other than to like get drunk and like enjoy hanging out with somebody. And so we go to leave. We both pay our bill. And then we get up to leave. You know, I'm drinking like fancy beer or whiskey or something the whole time. We go to leave and she's like, hey, do you want to do one more? I was like, yeah, totally. I'll get a shot of whiskey. And so I got a shot of whiskey, and she gets another one of these drinks. And so bartender starts mixing it up, takes out an egg, cracks the egg, and throws it in the drink.
Here we go, baby.
And she just like slurps it back. And I was like, wait. You've been ordering the same drink the entire night? And she's like, yeah, I have. And I'm like, you just drank 12 eggs. And I was
That fucking kills me.
And I was like, well, if you put it like that, I'm like, how else the fuck would you put it, dude? 12 eggs. Like, are you Rocky? Like, are you training for something? Like, are you a fucking mongoose? And then, like, as she's drinking it, I started doing the Rocky theme and shit. Like, it was awful.
You did not.
I did. I was a drunk asshole at that point.
Oh,
But she was choked. 12 eggs, dude. Like, dude, like she would have had to like run for 4 hours to be able to cope with that. But anyway.
Yeah, 12 eggs is like, how many calories is in each egg? I'm going to look it up right now. I think like 60, right?
I have no idea. But yeah, that's
60 or 70. How many calories in an egg? 72.
Jesus. Yeah, it was just so low key aggressive.
72 times 12. That's 864 calories plus the drink.
Plus the drink, yeah.
Fucking who goes out for drinks and consumes 1,000 calories of fucking, probably more.
Can you imagine showing up to a party with like a Mickey mix and a carton of eggs?
What was her defense for the egg eating?
She was like, I don't know, it's a good drink.
Fuck.
Yeah, she I don't know, she didn't even defend it. She was like, yeah, dude, what's up? They're just fucking
Power to her, I guess.
Yeah, 12 embryos.
I think, can we get into, would you say you identify as an alien? Let's start there.
We have no segues.
I love it.
Yeah, I would. I don't know. I always thought I was like a black sheep, but then like at one point I realized I'm like, I don't fucking understand these humans at all. Like I don't fucking get this.
Right.
There's so much of it. I had to learn what is like attractive, like learn what, I don't know. Like when I was young, there would always be groups of people and I'd be in the corner and I have no idea how to talk or what to do or any of it. Like, I don't know, man. I just chalked it up as being awkward, but like I didn't get it. And then when I do mushrooms, like I'll start to like feel like, I just start to feel alien again, and I start to embrace it, and I'm like, no, like I'm not human. It's okay to like not feel that. It was like when I got this Moldavite ring, that's what brought up this conversation with us, is that it's a stone from the Czech Republic, I believe, where a meteor landed on the ground and all of the sand around it melted into glass, but it melted into like this strange green glass. And so it's the only place that the stone is from. And a lot of people feel it, and it's it resonates like hot, uncomfortable energy. Like a lot of people, I'll take off all my rings. I'll say, close your eyes. I'll put my rings on them. They're all a bunch of different stones. And they're always like, this one is hot. I want to take this one off every fucking time.
And that means they're not aliens.
Well, somebody explained it to me. It's like if you like a stone like seraphinite, for example, like that is a very like nature, earth, forest stone. So like if you believe in reincarnation, which I do in part, that just means that you've been on earth many times. And so like an old soul doesn't necessarily mean one soul is older than the other, though that might be true, but maybe you just had more experience in like a certain setting. So people who have been on earth like several times, they're more comfortable with seraphinite, but they're not with moldavite. It makes them very uncomfortable. It has a sinister, like almost insidious energy to it. But like people who aren't of earth in that regard, they find comfort in it. I like its kind of mischievous energy. It gives me energy. And I don't know. I've always, ever since somebody broke it down like that, I started like to do more research on those ideas. And I've had several people like come up to me, just be like, you are an alien. Like, I know you are an alien.
Well, that's what really tripped me out is, like I've known you for years, and you first brought this up to me like a month ago. And I was like, wait, you identify as an alien? Like, what? And then, but of course I accepted it. And then, well, no, I kind of, honestly, I get it.
Yeah.
I do get it.
Yeah, if you break it down all right.
And then I remember we were on the nude beach like a couple of weeks later, and someone was like, you're a fucking alien, huh? And they like did not know you. But they were probably just blasted on acid or some shit. But I thought that was so strange.
It was like 7 a.m, dude. I don't think that dude was on acid. But I think he's a dude who's done
it was just like
acid.
it was just like an older guy at 7 a.m. He seemed like whatever, normal-ish.
Yeah.
And what did he say? He's just literally he walked up to you and was like, yeah, so you're an alien.
Yeah, he looked me in the eyes. He's like, oh shit, you're an alien. I was like, yeah. He's like, I will try and think of what kind of alien you are. Because
he was trying to place it. Didn't he say you might be a gray or some shit?
He said I might be a gray, but then like afterwards he came up to me and he said that I was like one of the aliens that their energy comes to Earth to try and connect people or something. I can't remember what his breakdown was.
That's my next question is like, do you feel like an alien soul that got reincarnated into a human body, or what's?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like my last lives weren't here. That's why everything here seems so alien to me.
Which is, maybe opposites attract because I feel like the opposite way. Like I've always felt very earthy and like, and all my favorite like scents are like pine and all this shit. And I feel like so much better once I've been to a forest and all this shit.
I do too. You know what I mean?
Just feel connected to like the earth.
Yeah. I also feel connected to the earth in a regard. Like I know nature feels better. Like I like hiking. I like climbing.
I think I've fucked things up here many times before.
Yeah?
I think so. And I keep coming back.
You know, it'd be a really interesting one is to talk to what would you call it? Like a diviner or something, like somebody who like can look into what our past lives were. Like I don't know if that's like a great video idea, but like that'd be just dope to do.
It'd be dope to do. I think we're like on the same page where it's like we don't subscribe to the belief that you have this, it's like the same way that people believe in Jesus is like this guy in the sky, and I'm like, I don't know about that. It's like I also don't believe that like you have a soul and then you die and boom, it goes into something else. I think it's like that.
It's like that.
It's like that, but it's not that simple. Like definitely energy never like fully goes away.
Yeah.
You can just see that in like fucking life.
In anything. Something decomposes, it becomes something else.
Motherfuckers eat ants, then die and decompose into the soil and feed a tree.
Yeah.
And then the fucking
and
it's all a cycle.
And like the equivalency exchange, like energy and matter, it never goes away, it just changes.
Exactly.
So I don't know, I do believe that one day we will be able to quantify or substantiate what the soul is. And at that point it's like, all right, now we've proven there's a soul. And souls don't just go away, they move, they become something different. Like even at basic level, like the electrical charge that runs our neurochemical network, like that goes somewhere, something happens. But I don't know, the same way, like I believe in more. That's why I'm not an atheist. That's why I say I'm agnostic. I believe in spirituality. I believe in something more. But for anybody to say they know any of that stuff, I think that's kind of crazy. Like I don't know that I was an alien in my last life. I believe it and I feel it. But like any kind of hypothesis or theory starts with intuition.
Well, Mr. Guy, we've done over an hour.
Really?
Yep.
What are we at?
Flew by, right?
That did fly by.
I think we've covered so many topics now that we're getting into all this spiritual shit. Like, let's save this shit for another day.
Yeah.
We'll do a little cliffhanger.
And I don't want to just talk intellectual, philosophical bullshit.
I want to.
I don't like Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel is kind of tight. Some of the episodes are really pretentious, but some of it's really tight. Yeah, dude. I want to talk about that, but
we sorry.
No, yeah. No, I'm sorry. I feel like I cut you off a million times, but yeah, dude. We did the thing.
Yeah.
Like I bought all this fucking podcast gear. I know this looks like whatever kind of thrown together, but these fucking
you went in on the gear.
The gear was super expensive and shit, and like I didn't know if this was gonna go well or not, or if I was gonna just return all this gear tonight and get like I opened everything up super carefully so that I could return it if the shit didn't go well and shit. But I'm happy with it.
I'm pretty happy with this.
Yeah, that's why I got all this shit, is like I have faith. That's why we made this beautiful sign.
We always have fluid dialogue though. We got good chemistry, buddy.
We do. Now, we'll guess someone else will come on and fucking
fuck it all up.
See how that goes. I'll be like, so you ever have a threesome and you kiss a chick? And they'll be like, what?
The fuck's wrong with you, dude? I love my wife.
That's it. I love you.
Woo!
How do I end this? I end the videos. Love you guys. Peace. How do I end the podcast?
That's the scoop.
And that's the scoop.